Welcome to this week's video. Can you guess what we're going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about electrocutions. High voltage, low voltage, what we can do to prevent it and what can we do if we get electrocuted.
Now annually, here in the UK, there are about 1,000 reported electrical accidents that occurred in the workplace and in someone's home. Of that number, 25 were fatal. Mains electricity, high voltage cables, batteries, static and even lightning can be found or occur in the workplace and in someone's home. A government report by the HSE, the Health and Safety Exec, shows that the most common injuries and deaths come from direct contact with an electrical charge and can be as a direct result of many reasons, but including badly maintained equipment, especially portable devices, coming into contact with overhead power lines, the use of unsuitable electrical equipment in wet areas or areas where there is the risk of an explosion, coming into contact with underground power lines while using hand tools or machinery, working with live mains power. And when a body part comes into contact with or close to a live source of electricity, the body becomes the link from live to earth and the electricity transfers through the body to earth. The body will convulse as electricity passes through the muscles. A current as little as 10 milliamps will cause muscle contractions, which can cause the hands, for example, to close around the source of electrical current, so the person is attached and cannot release it. The amount of damage or injury caused will depend on the size of the current passing through the person's body, and also for the length of time that person was actually in contact with the electrical source. Also, the path electricity made through the body will also affect what kind of damage or injury will occur. A current of as little as 60 milliamps can be fatal if the conditions are wet, because if it's wet, this reduces the body's resistance and can affect the heart's electrical activity, causing a cardiac arrest. Burns are also a problem as the electricity enters the body, but it also exits the body. So these burns can be very serious. It's 2 burn sites you have to deal with, because as the electricity penetrates deep into the body, these burns can be really painful and slow to heal. And not only one, but you've got 2 of them. Electricity can also cause sparks, and this can result in a fire or explosion. And the first aid treatment is to ensure the scene is safe, as you do not want to be injured yourself when dealing with an emergency. Always be aware that the patient may be live if they're still in contact with the electrical supply, or you may come into contact with what hurt them. If there's any doubt at all, do not touch them. Always make sure the power is off, and then check their breathing. And you're going to probably check their breathing by talking to them as you're approaching, asking them questions. But if they're not breathing, you need to be able to deliver CPR. If they are breathing but unconscious, we know what we need to do. We put them into the recovery position, and then we look for other injuries. If no urgent first aid procedures are required, then you need to assess for injuries, and you may need to then treat for burns. Patients can be burnt by touching hot metal which has been heated by the electrical current. Other injuries can be caused by falling or being thrown back, or by flying objects and sharp exposed wires. If it is a high voltage cable, just be fully aware that you keep well away, because electricity can arc 80 meters through the air and through the ground, and this can actually be increased if it's a wet day, foggy sort of weather. So electrical currents, do not go anywhere near. Make sure you call the emergency medical services. If it was a low voltage cable, such as all our household things, then make sure you turn off the supply. And I want you now to go and find where that supply actually is. Do you know where your main supply is in your house, in your workplace, wherever you are? Always make sure you find where it is, because you never know when you might need to turn it off. Always make sure you're safe. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our important videos.